Hey, Flora. Hey, Flora.
Hi, Danish. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I am 2 days away from my holiday, so feeling great.
Oh, I thought you were on your holidays, weren't you, when you were in France?
Yeah, no. So I've been working. It's just I had to come for a family celebration, and then it was just too difficult to go back. So I've been working. It's been really busy with yeah, a lot of stuff at work. So happy to be almost there.
Nice, nice,
What
cool.
about you? Do you have any holiday plan?
No, nothing in particular. I think in the next bank holiday we are just going away for a couple of days, but not a extensive one, because our general holidays are to travel to meet family in India and all that, but that we can't do at the moment. So
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah.
quarantining. So yeah, we're staying put. Hopefully, we'll make some plans in December.
Well,
Yeah.
good. I mean, if you don't need a break, I actually like to have break. Like I need break.
No, we are desperate for a break. It's just that, yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, a couple of days ago, I was telling my wife that maybe we should just hire some house in near maybe Bristol or someplace, just to get a change of scenery and at least be at a place where we can continue to work, because schools are off, so we don't have to worry about that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
So what do you do when you start the meeting as a Zoom master?
As a Zoom master, so I think prep wise, of course, I have to load up the voting things, which I couldn't do properly last time around, but I have done it for this meeting.
Okay.
So the polls for the best speaker as well as best evaluator is done. Table topics, will do it as people
Mm-hmm.
names are called out. I just noticed that because we bought a 1 year plan for Zoom, our meetings have stopped recurring now. So we need to extend the plan out and extend the recurring meeting schedule. So we'll do that.
Okay.
So I think, and I was going to drop a message on the committee chat, but I thought maybe I'll just have a word with you on it. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so at that time, we just went with like the base version, because we weren't sure last year at this time
Yeah.
how long we would need it. Um, but there is an opportunity to do either upgrade the plan with different options on Zoom. But I think we chose the one which was for £110 or something, so it was a very basic plan.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
we can talk about that offline. But yeah, I think other than that, everybody's doing their bits. One thing I would want you to constantly be thinking about is how do we focus on two things, and I use the sales terminology for that, hunting and farming. So how do we increase the 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 number of walk-ins we can have for different people.
Well, you know that. So yesterday with Nishta, like really wanted to log into info and everything. So managed, and thank you for sending the password. So actually, I've just realized the account, that the email address that is on the website is linked to Info Trojan. So
Right.
there was a number of people that reached out, and I went back to May, that actually no one had responded to. And it's probably, I would say, at least 10 people that actually, we're not, we had an answer.
uh, Hi, Ruth.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, Ruth.
So no, I think so most of those emails, they were forwarded to me, so I have responded to all of them one way or the other, but
Okay.
we can verify if some got missed out. Of course, that's my bad, but yeah, that's one
No, because I
thing.
thought that could be one way. Like there was a few that then anyway, yeah. So I think that's probably, I was thinking that could be an easy one if actually there's quite a lot of people asking for when is the meeting happening and everything. And
Yeah.
over the past few months, I guess, with the change in the COVID and everything, we could increase a few people coming in.
Yeah. So that's one, and second is, of course, I know we were talking about the meetup thingy. So we need to see how we bring people together. What are the different things we can try out? So yeah. Hey, Simon.
Hi
Hi,
guys.
Simon.
Hi Flora.
I'll just quickly step out to get some water, and I'll come back.
Yeah. Hi, Simon. How are you?
I'm good. Are you still in France?
Yeah, I'm still in France. Yeah, so I've stayed because I'm going on holiday as well in France.
Uh-huh.
So I've just stayed the whole of July, and then on Friday I'm on holiday and I'm going to the sea.
So
And,
you've been able to work online from France.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Well, it is good. The company is now putting a bit more restriction to that. Last year, like people could just do it, like they would not even know where you were. This year they've realized that's not really possible. But when it's temporarily, like they have specific condition. When it's temporarily and it's actually because you just want to be able to go on holiday after work, they kind of authorized you. But I almost now reached the limit, so I don't think I could be doing 2 months, for example.
No. So are you holidaying in France or going abroad?
Yeah, no, in France. Yeah, I would go to the seaside. So yeah, it's looking good apart from the weather, really.
It's pretty wet here at the moment. It's not great.
Well, yeah, to be fair, usually there's a few differences between north of France and England. I always talk about it, but it's usually better weather. And this summer, like this July, it's just been like in England here.
But do you must get do you get colder winters?
Yeah, colder winter, but warmer summer. That makes sense. So the season are more like you can see the season usually. But this summer, this July has just been raining and cold and yeah, similar to the weather in London.
So the beach where? South of France, north of France?
So the beach where we go to will be on the west, so Atlantic. So yeah, middle. So it's where if I were going to south of France, the weather would still be good.
Yes.
But on the seaside, on the Atlantic coast, it's gonna be probably will avoid the rain, but like would be like 22 degree.
It's not bad. Not bad.
It's not bad, but you normally have like 26, 27.
So are you taking your bucket and spade?
Yeah.
Good. Traditional. And you want a handkerchief to tie around your head.
What did you say?
You want a knotted handkerchief to put on your head. You know a handkerchief?
Yeah.
Englishmen in the like 1960s and 70s to protect them would tie the corner into knots and place it on their heads.
Yeah, I'm not sure on this one. But I'll definitely have a...
We're not fashionable in England, so
no.
It's a look that you can best forget. No.
I think I may just still need a waterproof, but anyway, we'll see.
Hi, Linda.
Hi Tanuj, hi Simon, hi Flora, hi Ruth.
Hi. It looks warmer where you are compared to Simon.
Breaking up with the glass and window.
Compared to where Simon is.
Hello, hi Linda, hi Ruth.
Hi.
Yeah, it's damp.
It's probably very isolated,
as they say.
Sun's just come out, Simon. I think so.
I just realised I was on mute. Hi, Simon. Hi, Linda.
We saw you waving.
I thought I was saying hello to everybody, and then
So we have a speaker from another club this evening, Fran,
Yes.
and a general evaluator, Laurie.
Sorry, I didn't notice the general.
Yeah,
evaluation.
we have apparently an evaluator from the United States, I think Momo said.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Momo is doing a fabulous job of being a VP and, kind of spreading the wings. So
Good.
Yeah, she wants to make sure all of the roles are filled. So it's great.
Linda, sorry, I couldn't manage to update my speeches title on Easy Speak. So we might have to.
Oh, right.
do an-
What is it, Tanuj? What have you changed?
I emailed it out to you. I don't know if you got it.
You did. I thought when you hadn't changed it on Easy Speak, you'd decided to leave it. I'll find.
You know what? Actually, on second thoughts, the one on Easy Speak can stay. It
Okay.
is relevant to my speech now.
Right. It is kind of intriguing.
It is. It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi, good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Fran. Welcome to Trojans.
Thank you very much for having me. Oh, hi, Ruth. How are you? It's amazing you could you get a sort of little invite
Fran.
on the WhatsApp link, and you say, "Oh yeah, sure," and I'll go to that and help out. And lo and behold, I meet people, and it's great. This family that we belong to, isn't it? It's wonderful. Everybody's
Yeah, it is.
everywhere. Hi, Mo. That's who you are. Hello. How are you?
Hi, I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Thank you for your invite. And yes, I'm fine, thanks. Will I be allowed to share screen when it comes to the time? Yeah.
Yes, Fran. Can we possibly test it out now?
Sure.
So I'm gonna make you a host, and if you could please bring your screen up and check if it works. Yeah, we can see your screen.
Oh, hang on. I don't want to do that one. Yeah, but I want to do that one. That's it. That's it.
Have the right one ready.
Fran, let us know if we need to shut our eyes.
There we are. No, you guys all right? Yes. I've got nothing to hide. All good. There you are. It's working, I think.
Yeah.
Just preparing the slides.
So we can see your screen. All right. I hope. Are you using a single screen on your end or at your end, or do you have multiple screens set up?
I've got one screen here showing.
Okay, super. So then we are seeing that. Yes.
Okay.
Super.
So working all right. So I'll stop sharing for the moment.
Yeah, I'll claim back the hosting rights.
I think I have to do all that again because by the time we get back round to it, it'll have to start over and just load it all again. But it's ready.
Sure.
Thank you.
I'll queue up your hosting rights after the first speech is done, and you can freely do that.
Perfect. Oops.
Hey, Samit. Hey, guys. Wow. We can borrow some sunshine from Dil there.
Fran, how do you pronounce your second name?
Like wing on a bird with an N in front.
N-wing.
No, with an N in front. So Nguyen.
Yeah. With
I
N
want
in
it
front.
really correct to be Nguyen, but nobody gets it right. So Nguyen is good.
Wing. Thank you.
Thank you for asking.
Hi, Laurie. Welcome to Trojans.
Thank you.
Hi, Laurie. I've met you before too. How are you?
Good. Hi, how you doing?
You're from America, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes. Welcome. Oh,
Thank you.
I am a guest as well at this place. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know everyone thinks that I have an accent, and I know that I think that you have an accent, so I'm just trying to confine with the accents.
That's okay. That's cool.
Thank you. Hi.
As long as we can communicate, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what we're talking about today too, isn't it? Cool, cool. So how long's your club been going?
For my club.
I know this club
Oh,
that we've joined tonight.
Oh, Trojans. So we've been around for more than a decade.
Wow.
that's
Yeah,
It's 2003, I think.
Okay. Well, you're doing
Yeah.
very well.
yeah, and I can comfortably say Linda is one of our most senior members, so she can probably.
I wasn't
she's
here
seen
at the beginning. I'm the longest standing, probably.
Yes.
I wasn't here at the beginning.
I've only been a member for just over 3 years now. I think that's right.
Did you go straight on to Pathways, Fran?
Yes, I joined just after Pathways had kicked off. I waited to join
Good
deliberately.
timing. Yeah.
So I'm halfway through my second one. So I got my triple crown this time. That was pretty exciting.
Well done.
All right, I see our first speakers coming in. We've got our 3 speakers. Sathya, Fran, and Tanuj. We've got our 2 evaluators, Flora and Dill.
Spirit.
Thanks, Sam. So we have Annette is not here. Flora, do you think we should put in a substitute? And fantastic. She's
Annette.
Hi, Annette. Welcome.
Hi.
We have our grammarian. Our Harkmaster's not here yet, but
Harkmaster, I don't think she will be able to attend. She just sent me the message.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. More time for the rest of us. So it's 7:30. Are we ready to start? Or
Yeah, I think we can.
okay. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for coming to Trojans this Wednesday evening. Thank you for coming to Trojans when you could be watching the Olympics, for example. I was thinking about the Olympics and thinking about Toastmasters, and we have a lot of the same things. We've got power, we've got pace, and we've got performance, all at Toastmasters. So this evening, I see regulars, I see new people, I see guests. Welcome, everybody. And we have an absolutely packed agenda. So I'm Sergeant at Arms. I will be Toastmaster as well, but I'm Sergeant at Arms, and a few things to share to help the meeting run as smoothly as it can. First, it'd be really nice to see everybody's face. It's much nicer talking to people that you can see. It's much easier for the speakers to engage and for us all to enjoy the evening. So if your bandwidth and your technology allows, please join in by letting us see you. Switch your camera on. Please mute when you're not speaking and unmute when you're speaking. I would advise to, a few seconds before you come up to speak, unmute so that you're ready and you don't feel you're fiddling around. You're ready to go when you're introduced. When we're back in the church hall where we meet, we do ferocious clapping In fact, I always say it's the other thing I learned from Toastmasters, apart from communication and leadership skills. I learned to clap fiercely. I will clap the loudest and longest in the theatre or anywhere I go. Now we're online, we do a kind of wave to encourage people, to welcome them to the stage, to say thank you afterwards, or sometimes a big silent clap like this. I tend to do this rather than this, but something to show appreciation. Please wave or clap. And just to let you know, we have a break. We have a break in the middle. So if you're thinking, oh, I'd like that cup of tea or glass of wine or comfort break, you will have it in about an hour before we come back for the second half. I'll see you quite soon again, because I'm also the Toastmaster this evening. But in the meantime, I'm going to introduce our president, Flora. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big wave or clap for our president, Flora Ruffin.
Thank you, Linda, and thank you for covering for the Sergeant of Arms role. I'm really delighted to see so many of you tonight. Hopefully we have actually a very busy meeting with a lot of fabulous speeches, so that will be great. I wanted to just share what I've done over the weekend. So as you know, we are transitioning through a new Toastmaster year, and we're a new committee, and as part of this we're actually doing some training. So the district and Toastmaster organized training for the club officer, and that was really nice because we were more than 100 people attending that training on a Saturday morning, and everyone was really keen to be trained, smiling and really enjoying the opportunity to be there and learning about a Toastmaster, but also leadership skill. And that just reminds me as well, this is what we are here to do. We are here to actually learn, work through our personal development and do that, while we enjoy ourselves. And seeing all of you guests from all the club visiting us, that's really great. One as well that I really liked it's really an opportunity when you join Toastmaster, when you are part of Toastmaster, is really to meet other people that think like you and connect with, develop a network, see what others are doing, understanding their perspective. And what was great specifically for this with this training is, as we are going through a lot of challenges with the pandemic, and are we going back in person and meeting, or are we continuing things online? There was a lot of different perspectives, a lot of different thought, and that's really nice. Actually reminded me how important it is to meet people either online or in person, but that's how it kind of challenge your thinking and you get fresh idea. So one common thing really was that actually we all here because we never want to stop learning, and things are really changing rapidly. So that's actually what we need to do. We need to keep learning. And during the training, I was reminded of a quote from the founder of Toastmaster, Ralph Smedley, that we learned best in moment of enjoyment. So we learn best in moment of enjoyment. And I hope, this is what we will have tonight. So we learn a lot. We hear about speeches, fabulous tailored topic, while we enjoy ourselves on a nice evening. Toastmaster. I wanted as well to welcome 2 new members that have joined since the last meeting. I don't think I see them tonight, but just for all of you. So we have Joanna that have joined, and you would have seen her on the WhatsApp group. And then recently Pragati joined as well. So that's really great to have new member on board. I hope you will enjoy the evening, and I will hand over to Linda as a Toastmaster. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Flora. I think we have a few guests this evening. I can see you all. I'm in gallery view. Would you mind just putting your hand up if you're a guest? Okay. And if you're a first-time guest, put your hand up. Okay, we have a few new people. I know Laurie is already a Toastmaster. Parminder and Sonia Are you new to Toastmasters?
Yeah, this is my first session.
Lovely, lovely. You're really welcome. Same for you, Sonia. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We'll give you an opportunity to say hello at the end of the first half when you've got a bit better used to us, but it's lovely to see you here. Like I said before, comparing Toastmasters to the Olympics, we'll get power, we get pace, and we'll get performance. And Toastmasters is also a place where, as Flora said, we learn lots. We learn by enjoying ourselves, but we also learn, like in the Olympics, through preparation, practice, and professionalism. You'll see that all at Toastmasters tonight. Public speaking and leadership skills are skills that can be learned and developed. And tonight we'll all learn something. We'll learn by seeing, we'll learn by listening, and we'll learn by practicing ourselves. Everybody gets a chance to practice. My screen just went a bit funny there. In the first half of the meeting, we'll have prepared speeches. People who are members of Toastmasters work through a program called Pathways, building on their speaking skills as they go along the pathway. And there are 3 people here tonight who've prepared a speech along the pathway. They will deliver that speech. It'll be 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes, and they'll get feedback in the first half. Then in the second half, we'll have impromptu speeches, and they'll get feedback as well. And I would like, while I'm mentioning the impromptu speeches, to mention Sumit. You see him there. Sumit is going to be running that session in the second half. We call it table topics. They're quick, short speeches. You don't know what's going to be asked. If you would like to have a table topic, send Sumit a message in the chat, and he will be sure to give you a place. Take advantage, because practice is the thing that really, really helps you build your skills. So with people speaking prepared speeches, impromptu, we've got other people taking other roles, other opportunities to develop leadership and speaking skills. And I'm going to invite each of them up now to introduce themselves and the role that they are taking this evening. The first one is our timekeeper. Timing is really important when you're speaking. And our timekeeper this evening is Momo. So ladies and gentlemen, to tell us about her timekeeper role, please welcome Momo.
Hi everyone. Today I've got a very important role to play by being a timekeeper, because in a contest, being under the time or over the time, even for a 1 second, can disqualify for the speaker. So today, being the timekeeper of the day, I'll help all the speaker to manage their time by showing the different color background on my screen. So when a speaker reach to the speaking limit, for the prepared speech, it will be a speaking limit will be 5 minutes. So when they reach to 5 minutes, I'll show the written background like this, and followed by amber background when they reach to 6 minutes, and followed by red background. And for the evaluator, it will be 2 minutes and followed by 2.5 minutes and 3 minutes. And for the table topic, it will be 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, and 2 minutes. Wish you all the best and have fun for the rest of the evening.
Thank you, Momo. And just for our first speaker, Sathia, hers is 4, 5, 6 minutes. Just Sathia, in case you were worried about that. The icebreaker, the very first speech, is a little bit shorter than the others. The next person we're going to hear from is our grammarian from this evening. It is the spirit of Toastmasters to give feedback about different things, and the grammarian gives us feedback about our use of language. But Simon will tell you about that more eloquently than I will. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big hand for our grammarian, Simon.
Hi. The irony of being a grammarian tonight is that I was actually quite bad at grammar at school. So this is actually a learning process for me. So I'd welcome your feedback for things that I don't pick up or should have picked up. The word which I would like you to all incorporate tonight is the word spirit. I've sent out details of what the word means on the chat board so you can look at it at your leisure and think about how you're going to incorporate it into your speeches tonight, either in table topics or perhaps even in your formal speaking. Please be aware that it does not make reference to alcohol, which people can sometimes get confused with. So if you do use it with alcohol, perhaps the word spirits, plural, will be accepted. I'll be looking for eloquent use of the English language, unusual words and expressions. I will also be particularly wary of people using and ahs as filler words. I know that we all do it, and I myself am as guilty as everybody else, but please try not to do it. At the end of the evening, I'll give you a count of the number of times I've recorded it. And bear in mind, in previous meetings, we have had it as high as 300, which shows you how bad we perhaps are. Whatever you do, enjoy it. I'm not going to be particularly pedantic or analytical with grammar. Enjoy it, relax. If you mess up a phrase or expression, don't worry, we all do it. But enjoy the night. And as I said before, try and incorporate the word spirit, and hopefully the word will give you spirit to persevere. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Simon. So those are our roles that are helping us run the evening smoothly, and you'll be hearing from them both later on. We're moving into the prepared speeches, people who are going along their pathway and preparing speeches. Another thing that's really central to Toastmasters is feedback. We give feedback on everything because feedback is a brilliant tool to help us to know what we do well, because sometimes we don't realize what we do well. We need somebody to tell us. And things that we might like to work on. Feedback is our friend, and we have evaluators for each speech. So before I invite our first speaker, Sathya, up to speak, I would like to ask her evaluator, Annette, to tell us the objectives of Sathya's speech. Annette.
Hello and good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce Sathya tonight as a speaker. It will be her icebreaker speech. So it's actually the first time she's giving a speech to the club. And she will be, in general, introducing herself and why she joined the club. And she asked me to, in general, evaluate all the aspects of public speaking. So good luck, Sathya.
Thank you, Annette. Thinking about the Olympics, I was thinking that the speeches we do, the prepared speeches, are a bit like the high jump. You prepare for it and then you take that big leap and you do it. So this is Sathya taking her first attempt at the high jump. It's her icebreaker speech, her first speech in the presentation mastery pathway. It's called Sathya's Icebreaker. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sathya.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Good evening, everyone. Today, I'm going to be talking about myself and why I joined Toastmasters. I'm Sathya. I was born and bred in India. My dad is a retired cop and my mom is a homemaker. I have 2 elder sisters and 1 younger brother. I am the 3rd child in my family. How many of you here is a middle child in your family? Nobody. Okay, today I'm going to be sharing some interesting facts about middle children. Do you know that the middle child never gets to experience anything first, like the overachieving firstborn or attention-seeking lastborn? Statistically speaking, parents take way more photographs of the firstborn compared to the other children, and the lastborn gets the more lenient punishment for the same behavior compared to their siblings, and the middle children are often unnoticed. They have personalities that are usually overshadowed by their siblings, so they feel ignored or excluded. And they have a different kind of attachment style to their parents. So the researchers coined the term middle child syndrome, which refers to the middle child struggling to find a role in their family, as a result, finding a role for themselves in the world. So it is believed that the middle child have the lowest self-esteem of any birth order. Although I would imagine having a syndrome named after us doesn't really help. On a positive note, the middle children don't have the responsibility of the firstborn or attention of the lastborn. They are free to chart their own path. There is some hope. So this is pretty much my story. All my childhood, I have struggled to get attention from my parents, and I have tried many different ways and found one that really worked for me. I turned out to be a perfectionist. I just made sure that anything I do, the end result is of high performance and standards by focusing more on the details. This has been appreciated by everyone in my family, and I have been always proud about it. And recently, I noticed that my strength has become my own weakness. So I'm now in my new job, and as part of my new role, I have to give presentations every now and then. And I don't have any prior experience in giving presentations. So this made me to hold myself back by postponing the presentations that comes my way. So if I want to give a presentation, I want it to be perfect. So I wanted a platform where it is okay to be imperfect and where I can train myself by practice. So ladies and gentlemen, here I am at Trojan Speakers to make mistakes, to learn from my own mistakes, and be comfortable making mistakes again. As they say, in training, there is no winning or losing, there is only learning. And today, I truly appreciate your act of kindness by listening to a middle child speaking. It really means a lot to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Satya. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I should have mentioned that everybody gets the opportunity to give feedback, not just the evaluator. So we're going to have a minute on the clock where we can give feedback to Satya. If you're a guest, you can send it privately in the chat. Tell her the things that you really liked about her speech. If you're a member, you can do it in pathways, in the space for feedback. It is up to you. But timekeeper, can we have a minute on the clock, please?
It is 1 minute now already.
Thank you, Momo. It's fine just to say not to bother about the green screen. So our second speaker this evening is Fran Enwing. Fran has done many high jumps. She's on a much later stage along her second pathway. And tonight she's doing a high jump from the presentation mastery manual. I would like to invite her evaluator, Flora, to give us the objectives of Fran's speech. Flora.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. And yeah, it's my pleasure to be the evaluator from Fran. So Fran is a guest visitor, a guest speaker. So I'm really delighted to be hearing her and evaluating her. So the purpose of this project is for the member to develop and practice a personal strategy for building connections through networking. And the purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of her experience networking. So looking forward to this. Thank you.
Thank you, Flora. So Fran's speech is called, as we can all see, interestingly, Connecting the Dots, with a speech entitled Connecting the Dots. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Fran.
Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests, thank you for having me tonight. Timekeeper, could I please ask for verbal clues, because I cannot see you at the moment, because I've got you on the screen here.
Yes, can you see me now?
No. Oh, yes, I can. Yes, I can. That's okay. I can see you. Thank you. Okay, perfect. How many of you have actually done connecting the dots drawings as a child? Please raise your hand. Excellent. You know, it looks like a whole strange collection of dots with numbers beside it, and it doesn't look like a picture at all until you connect the dots. That's what we're doing with networking. And I would like to talk to you about communication. Communication works for those who work at it. Isn't that true of many things? Isn't that true of us as Toastmasters? The more you put in, the more you get out. And this is something I want to share about. So you have to take the plunge and dive in. And I'd like to share a wee story about Gatwick Communicators president that would have been. He came to us 3 years ago. Big man from the Cameroons, and he just had a tiny voice. And he didn't know how to communicate properly. He got a great laugh, but when it came to speaking, he didn't have much confidence. But by the time he had joined us and developed a few skills, he was about to become our president. And then we lost him, tragically, to a heart attack. But in going to his memorial the other day, I noticed that we connected the dots about how he came to join us and how we came to be blessed with his presence. And it was so good to connect the dots and see the art of communication and how he had desired to learn to present well. He did. He gained 2 promotions whilst he was with us. So he learnt the 3 main networking skills: communication, active listening, and social skills, making friends, becoming a prime member of our club. As I said, these are all learnt in Toastmasters, so all of you can have a go. There's nothing stopping you except yourself. The 3 main networking skills are communication. But some of the things we have to ask ourselves are, what are we looking for when we communicate? What attracts us to other people? What makes us a magnet that people want to come and spend time with us? How do we know that we are accepted? How do we know that we've been heard? For me, it was one of the things that really attracted me to Toastmasters, to be heard. And these are my Gatwick communicator friends. We're a very big family. We love one another and we communicate well. One of the things we do with communication is active listening. In this photograph here, you've got two ladies. The lady in the brown hat, is she being heard? How do you know she's being heard? How do you know what they're saying when they're trying to communicate together? Now, I know the lady on the right very well. She's become a good friend. Active listening. She's listening closely. They are having a good laugh. And our lovely lady in the brown hat is looking expectantly. How do I know this? Social skills. At a wedding, people do not necessarily know everyone, but it's a fun place to be. Are these people having fun? How do you know? I want you to focus for a minute. Look very carefully. Can you see everybody listening to this talk? What are we doing? What am I doing? How am I demonstrating things to you by making sure that you get the point? Active listening. But when we're actively listening, we're not only hearing, what else are we using? We're using our eyes. We're reading the body language. We're reading the facial expressions. We're reading the hand movements. All these are part of communication, the non-verbal part. And don't forget, one of the things we must do, I'm putting my jester's hat on here, is to have some humor. Quick bad joke coming up. Warning, warning. Why did the skeleton cross the road? No, it wasn't to go to a Toastmasters meeting. It was to go to the body shop. Okay, end of dad joke. Very bad, I know. Interpersonal skills. We need to develop how to have fun and to communicate. But also to have empathy, to share and to care and to listen. Not just say I'm listening to your words, but really listen. What's happening behind those words? What is being said? And please, please bring in positivity. Negativity repels. No, I don't want to hear you. But if you're positive, people want to come and hear you and see what you're saying. What is the next thing you're coming up with? Here's a quote for you. Effective communication is 20% what you know and 80% how you feel about what you know. So you've got to demonstrate with passion. Bring the spirit of Toastmasters in and really get enthusiastic about what you're sharing. Communication is huge. Don't forget that. We need to share and develop our skills. And this man, I love this man. Nelson Mandela said, if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head, his cognitive process. But if you talk to him in his language, it goes to the heart. So really what we're aiming to do in Toastmasters is develop the skills to really impact the heart. There are many opportunities in Toastmasters, but in BNI or Zoco Business Networking or Speed Networking, etc., etc. These are all opportunities to develop your skills and become a good communicator. And I'm going to finish with a quote. Most people fail at communication because they don't try to improve their ability to do it well. This is a mistake because, like other soft skills, it takes practice. Make a deliberate effort to communicate clearly with your team and those around you. So again, I'll reinforce that. Make a deliberate effort to communicate with those around you. And then you're going to excel at this Toastmasters game. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Fran. Once again, can we have a minute to give some feedback to Fran? You could do it privately in the chat. Tell her what she did well.
A minute up now.
Thank you, Momo. Our third speaker this evening is Tanuj Saluja. And before I invite Tanuj up, I would like to ask the evaluator, Dil, to tell us the objectives that Tanuj is working to. Dil.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good evening, everyone. This evening, Tanuj is going to give us 5 to 7 minutes of a speech from the visionary communication skills, which will be his fourth speech from this pathway. And the purpose of this speech is for Tanuj to learn or review basic research skills, research methods, and present a well-organized and well-researched speech on any topic that he chooses. Thank you.
Thank you, Dil. Thinking about the Olympics again, I was thinking about Tanuj and what a fabulous all-rounder he is. He doesn't just do speeches. He was our previous president. He was vice president for education. He is Zoom master. He does all these things. If Tanuj was in the Olympics, he would be in the heptathlon at least, or maybe the decathlon. He would be in something that you just need to be good at absolutely everything. And I know he would do really, really well. His speech this evening has got this intriguing title, Go Suck Yourself. And Tanuj assures me that he wants to discuss something that's very elementary to human existence. I can't wait. From our great all-rounder, please welcome Tanuj.
Sorry, I had not unmuted myself. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Can I please confirm if you're able to see a white screen?
Yes.
A blank white screen? You suck. You suck. Yes, you do. We all suck. Fear not. I am not talking about the emotional aspect of sucking, of like in failure. I am talking about the physical aspect of sucking something. The thing I'm going to talk about, we are all familiar with it. We know it's round, it's cylindrical, it can be small, it can be big, it can be hard, it can be soft, it has a pointy opening, but if it's not used for its main utility, it can be used to make one wet. Fellow Trojans, most esteemed guests, if you are picking my train of thought, you know we have a sucking problem at our hand. I am talking about packaged bottle of water. And the reason I want to talk about it is to discuss our obsession with hydration. Now it's a received wisdom, right? Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Today, being properly hydrated is touted by experts and celebrities as one of the best things for your body, for your mood, for your health, for your beauty and overall wellness. Now, I invite you to raise your hand if you have heard of the magic formula of drinking 8 cups of water a day to stay healthy. Keep your hand up if you do that every day. I see some hands going down. Now keep your hand up if you heard it from your childhood. Now I know a lot of people would be showing their age by now. I can't see everybody, but my guess is not many hands are up. You see, this whole idea of drinking 8 cups of water, it is fabricated. It does not have any science behind it. And today I want to discuss how have we gotten to this stage where we are talking about hydrating so much. What has it done to us and what is our recourse? So I'm going to address it in 3 core topics, as you can see on the screen, and I'm going to give you evidence against each. So how did we get to this idea? The first innovation was done by the bottling companies who sold this idea. They gentrified this product. They created this product category for us out of thin air, literally. As you can see, this advertisement from early 19th century, it talks about how the water can keep you fit. It mixes well with brandy. It addresses a segment of the population, talking about how ladies appreciate it separately. And the fact that it is bottled from the springs of France, it just makes it sound as if it's coming straight from the Alps. At one point, this particular brand had 90% of its sales coming from UK and US. That means it was not confined to the French market only, and it was the British and American audience or the customers that were being catered to most by this company. Number two is the discovery or innovation of PETs. This is polyethylene triphthaliate. This compound was discovered and made the shipping of bottles very, very convenient. People moved from glass bottles to plastic bottles, which led to easy shipments in supply chain. People were carrying it more, hence it increased the overall consumption of water. The third idea was the manufacturer demand. Now, obviously, we had water available at our home, but we wanted it to feel special. So what did these big companies do? They made it look like as if it was something out of, you know, glossy magazines, and you would feel like celebrities if you drink these waters. And, you know, celebrities were talking about this was their unraveled secret that they were sharing, that they're drinking water. And best of all, we were getting fooled. Now look at this example. This is from India. It is from a company that manufactures tobacco. A lot of Indians here might recognize that. And they are talking about this bottle of water has 300% more oxygen. If you and I know our basic chemistry, water is H2O. 300% more would make it H2O4, which would be hydrogen peroxide. It is actually poisonous. So how did this get approved is beyond me. The only thing this beats for me is the idea of how Shreddies sold this idea of selling the squares into diamonds. This was the only marketing innovation I feel that beat this idea. Now, what have we done by making this big problem? The first issue we have created is of the garbage we have. In 2018, there was a big pile of waste that was floating in Pacific Ocean, which was twice as big as the area of Texas. To give you context, the area of Texas is 2.8 times the area of United Kingdom. So imagine roughly six times the area of United Kingdom waste was floating in the sea just because of the plastic that we put out there. Number two is that we got punked. We were being sold this drink by the companies, and we didn't know what we were drinking. The famous examples have been of Dasani, Aquafina, Pure Life. They were literally packaging the bottle, the water from the taps and selling it to us. How much more silly can this whole idea be? And you can see from the graph on the left, as they discovered that people are not drinking the carbonated drinks, let us sell them water. Maybe something would bring in the profits. And the last thing we do is we don't do the math. Each bottle of water costs the water in the water bottle is 2,000% to the cost of what we get at home. Would you buy a sandwich which costs 10,000 pounds in the store? You will not. So why do we do it with the water? If you can drink it at home, just not buy it. So what is our recourse? How do we not suck in this problem? First of all, don't buy plastic water. Simply carry a water bottle with you and have it with you whenever you need it. Number two is the water from the tap is actually safe. Many people think that the water is not clean, Well, I have some stats for you. So this is a study that was done about the portability of water across the world. UK is right on the top end of this graph. Now, I know it's not very readable, so I'm gonna share the numbers with you in a different format. So you see UK is 90% safe, but we might think that, hey, you know what, UK is not as good. Let's see, Switzerland is 93%, France 74, not that good per year. Fiji 83%. So all these names just tell us that actually we are far better off in UK or even in US, for example. Lastly, I'll appeal to you, don't just gobble up water when you want. Drink when you are thirsty. It's plain science. Don't overthink it. And next time, if you think you need some motivation, next time you're picking up that water bottle, think of this image. That's how you would be looking. So stay hydrated, but in moderation. Thank you, and Toastmaster.
Thank you, Tanuj. Thank you. Once again, Momo, can you give us a minute so we can give some feedback to Tanuj?
I'll take the liberty of adding that if you were to go to any cafe or any pub or anywhere and ask for a glass of water from the tap, they are legally obligated to serve you water without charging you anything. Thank you. Thank you, Momo. And you can stay unmuted because next up is Momo to give us the timings for the 3 speeches. And first-time guests, take note because after that, you'll have the opportunity to vote for the speech that you think was the best. So Momo is going to give us each speaker's name and the timing of their speech. Over to Momo.
Thank you. Satya's speech took 2 minutes and 56 seconds, and Fran's speech long 8 minutes and 1 second, and Tanuj's speech was 8 minutes and 16 seconds. So there were 2 speeches which is a bit over time and 1 speech a bit under time. Thank you.
Thank you, Momo. I'd like to ask our great all-rounder Tanuj now if he could put up the voting slip, shall we call it?
Waiting for 2 more votes, at least 1 more vote. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tanuj. So we've had our 3 speeches and now we're going to have 3 evaluations, 1 for each speech. Thinking of the Olympics again, I tend to see the evaluators as the commentators who sit in the commentary box and talk about how well people did and what they perhaps need to do differently next time.
to win the gold medal or whatever. So our evaluators tonight will be coming up one by one and telling us or giving us their evaluation of each speech. The purpose of evaluation is to help a speaker to become a better speaker. And it is a great tool we use at Toastmasters that helps us to develop. Our first speech was from Sathia, and the evaluator of her speech is Annette. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big welcome to Annette.
Thank you, Linda. Well, congratulations, Safia, on your icebreaker speech. I think it went really, really well. And I've been in the same position a couple of months ago, so I know it's a lot of nervousness that comes with it. So first of all, I think your screen presence was really good. We were able to see like your full face and the upper body, so that was great. The tone of your voice was great as well. I think you didn't speak too loudly or or too quick. I think it was very easy to understand and very easy for us to follow. In terms of the topic of your speech, I think you did very well to give us an introduction to your personality and your personal background, your family, and why you choose to join Toastmasters. What I really liked is that you started your speech with a question of who has the same experience as you of being a middle child. And I think that really helps to establish a certain relationship with your audience and provide some context to the speech, and it makes it very engaging. So I really liked it. And then, of course, that all followed by your explanation of how it was to grow up as a middle child and the disadvantages or challenges that you sometimes felt when growing up. And you did that in a very humorous way. So I think that was really well done and very entertaining. Later, it's then why you joined the Toastmasters. Again, I think there's a clear reason, your job, and that you haven't had much experience in public speaking. So you felt that there's a benefit to practice. And again, I think that's something we can all relate to, because obviously we're all here because we want to jointly learn something, and we're happy that you're on the journey with us. So yeah, to make it short, I think it was a very great speech. You had a very humble approach as well and said you're here to learn. So I really like that. I think in terms of the small suggestions that I would say that you can make better is, for example, I noticed that you had sometimes a lot of gestures with your hands. So I would just watch out to kind of control those a little bit better. And then sometimes I think it would also be good if you can just make a pause and let the audience digest the information and then move on to the next sentence. And of course, the time, I think, then you could elaborate it a little bit more, so you kind of use the allocated time a bit better. But overall, I mean, those are only minor points, and I think it was very well done for your icebreaker speech. Thank you, Satya.
Thank you.
Thank you, Annette. Thank you very much. Our second speech was from Fran, and Flora was the evaluator of Fran's speech. So to evaluate Fran's speech, connecting the dots, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Flora.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. So Fran delivered a very professional and very lively speeches on the value of networking and how we can develop those skills. She's included personal experience, so she met absolutely the objective for this level. So well done. I have a few, so what I'll do in my evaluation, I'll start with my commendation, and then I have a few recommendations if she wants to challenge herself and improve further. So first of all, what I really liked was actually the way she used the slide. So it was very professional. So the slides were absolutely fantastic and a pleasure to read and not too distracting. We could see very, very well So being in front of the slide, which I don't know how she did it, was actually very nice to see, because we could see a whole body language and we could also see the slide at the same time. So that was absolutely fantastic. That's actually the second point, was actually the excellent use of gesture, and how with the body language she was emphasizing the content of messages. So for example, she was saying, when she was saying, the more you put in, the more you take, or taking the plunge, and she was really doing it. So that was really interesting to see, and also with the connection with the image at the same time delivering that messages, it just resonated very well. The other thing, the third point that I really liked as well in the speech was the personal story. So that was actually directly linked to our Toastmaster experience, so very relevant to the audience, and that makes us as well, wanted to listen more, as this is an engaging topic. She used the power of 3 when she was explaining the main networking skill, so like communication, active listening, and social skill. And through that, she gave the example of a member of a club, and also how with a club they've all developed those skills. So that was really an excellent speech. I would have 2 recommendations. I thought at the end there was a lot of content, a lot of fabulous messages that was really nice to hear. But as they were coming one after each other, I actually felt I was missing some of the messages from one to another. So I would recommend a more structured approach, and maybe a bit more of signposting, and to continue to actually select a few that are really powerful and use a personal example to expand on those. The second area for improvement, I think, is probably the conclusion for me. There was a lot of, the speaker read the conclusion with a nice quote, but I just thought with all of the excellent introduction and content, that the conclusion could have been make a reference to the title. So the reference to connecting the dot, and that would have been very powerful. But overall, it was really a compelling speech about networking, a lot of nice use of gesture and eye contact and example. I think the conclusion could be making reference to the introduction to be even more powerful, but I did like very much the ending with we have to make a deliberate effort to communicate. So thank you very much, Fran.
Thank you very much, Flora, for that evaluation. Our third speech was from Tanuj, and our third evaluation is Dil evaluating Tanuj's speech. So ladies and gentlemen, a great big hand for Dil.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. You suck. What a great way to start. For a moment, I went, what? Did he just insult the audience? But then no, he went on with his topic, and he told us about water, which was his speech met his objectives quite well, to do a well-researched and present. It was very well-researched, well-organized on a topic of water. Now, what I really liked about his speech was the way he grabbed our attention immediately with that statement. And he went on to engage us further by asking us questions, like about the 8 cups of water, and telling us to raise our hand. It is a really good way to engage audience and to keep their attention. He also and his speech was very well researched, telling us about the water. about the problem of plastic and all about marketing tactics and etc. I would say he did a very well-rounded speech, and there is a lot of things that he did very, very well. And I do not have much to recommend to him. However, as I was looking at his presentation, it was very well organized. And I would say I did not quite look at his body gestures, only at the end I got to see it. And I would say he could have improved on the presence. He could have moved a little bit back, and then we could see his hands more. He also had a very good conclusion where he used humor to end his speech. And there's only one or two things that I would recommend or challenge him, which is to actually use more of a vocal variety, and to bring, like, let's say he was talking about water. He could grab a water bottle and then just pretend like drinking or drink it, and then show it to us that it's about water. And one thing he told me to look was his use of ums and ahs, filler words. I did not quite catch a lot of them. There was only a few, one or two ahs in between sentence, which he did pretty well. Overall, I would say Tanu's delivered a fantastic speech to us. There was humor, there were surprises, and well structured and very well organized and researched topic. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Dil. We will have one more evaluation later in the evening. We'll have somebody evaluating table topics, and we'll vote for the evaluation then. So meanwhile, we're coming towards our break. And I would remind you, if you want to do an impromptu speech after the break, the person to contact is Sumit. Send him a message in the chat if you would like to have a table topic or an impromptu speech in the second half. I'd strongly encourage you, if you haven't spoken yet today, to do that. It's great practice to be asked to speak about something you didn't know in advance. It still scares me. So, and it's a really safe space to practice. That's one thing we all like to say. It's a really safe place. Everybody's here to support you. Everybody wants you to practice and get better. So take the opportunity. Before we start our well-earned network break, I would like to give the guests the opportunity to introduce themselves. I was thinking, we don't have a lot of time. We've already met Fran and found out lots about her knowledge and her wonderful club. We're going to meet Laurie later. She has a special role being the general evaluator for the whole evening. So I'll ask her to introduce herself briefly then. One of our guests has left early. Sonia had to leave, but she sent us a very nice message to say she enjoyed what she'd learned so far. So we are left, I think, with four guests. Am I right if I say Ruth, Pragati, Parminder, and there was a Sabine. No, we've only got three guests apart from Fran and Laurie. Okay, let us have a quick introduction so we get to know our guests. Can I ask you first, Parminder, just tell us who you are and one sentence something you want to share with us, just one thing. Parminder.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for the intro, Linda. So my name is Parminder. I'd heard a lot about Toastmasters from friends, and I thought I'd give it a go. I think the positives that I've heard is people have found sort of practice with experience, the leadership skills that you mentioned, and the networking side. So I thought public speaking and sort of leadership is a big part of what I do at work, and generally something I'm looking to enhance through confidence and everything. So yeah, I thought I'd give it a go, and I thought the 3 speeches were incredible, by the way. So the feedback was great. So no, good stuff.
Good, you've come to the right place. I'm really glad you're enjoying it and getting something out of it so far. Thanks, Parminder. Next up, can I invite Ruth?
Hello, fellow Trojans. Yeah, I might be a guest, but I'm kind of known to most of you, and it's just really lovely to be joining you. Really enjoyed the 3 speeches and loving that you have new people here for the first time as well. And yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Pleasure always, Ruth. Thank you for coming. We see you as a friend of Trojans.
Thank you. Not in any official capacity this time,
A
just
very good
me.
friend, yes. I hope I haven't scared anyone away. I'm looking, I don't see Pragati anymore. Oh, okay, okay. So we didn't have as large a proportion of guests as I thought. Laurie, are you good to introduce yourself later when you come on as GE? Yeah, okay. Fran, would you like to say anything else? Yeah. Thank you. So that's our guests. Nice to meet you. Glad you're here. Enjoy the evening. It's now time for our networking break. We have 10 minutes when we can, well, rest, relax, or stay online and chat and find out, especially people who are new or coming for the first time. You have lots of old hands here if you want to find out more, Parminder. So it's now 2034 on my computer, 2035. Let's meet again at 2045. And don't forget to tell Sumit if you want to do a table topic. Now we'll have the break now. I'll give Pragati the opportunity afterwards. Sorry, Pragati, you disappeared for a minute.
Yeah, I was trying to unmute and then I got disconnected somehow.
Thought I scared you away.
No.
It's really nice to see you again. Would you like to say hi to everybody and just one thing you'd like to share?
Hi everyone. So this is my 2nd meeting today, and I've joined the club just today. So I've sent in my form and everything, and I'm looking forward to learning.
Good. It's the right place for that. There's loads to learn, and harking back to what Flora said at the beginning, learning in a way that's fun and enjoyable. It's the best way to learn, isn't it? So You're very, very welcome. Okay, networking break. It's 2036. See you at 2045. Bye for now.
Hey, Pragati. Hey.
Adil.
Hey, so Sumit, I was just quickly checking in with Pragati. Pragati, we thank you so much for completing the joining process, and welcome to Trojans. Quickly checking in, are you able to send me the confirmation of payment? We are having some trouble with accessing our bank account at the moment.
I think maybe I can send you a screenshot of.
Sure. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, have you been added to the WhatsApp group yet?
Not yet.
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
So
I think she has to be
maybe
added to the Toastmaster International website first, and then probably the Easy Speech and WhatsApp group.
Yes, so I shall do that, Sumit. So I have her details from the form that you shared, yes?
Yeah.
So Pragati, I'm gonna ping you on WhatsApp, and you can send me the screenshot of the payments that you've done, and we can go ahead and submit the your registration with Toastmaster International.
Yeah.
So Thank you. Momo, the first award submission coming your way for the level completion. So I completed my level 1 today. So
Congratulations, Tanuj.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I hope it was not too sensationalizing beginning of the speech.
No,
I
it
think
was
first
a
few
great
seconds were.
one. It was a great speech, especially I think you're in marketing, right?
Kind of, yeah. But I had not practiced even one time, It was
That
fresh.
300% oxygen, that was quite surprising.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. There is a whole, I don't know, Sumit, you might have come across that. There's a comedian in India who did a kind of set on this. And
what's his name?
What's his name? Some Khanna.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have to disagree with
Oops. Hi, Rina.
Oh.
Hi.
Oh, Irina.
On the hydration bit, I have to disagree with you. It's actually true. Like,
I think your voice is breaking up, Irina.
You sound like a robot from
Yeah.
outer space.
Like an interlude or something.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Is it doing now?
No.
Same.
Probably my connection. I should shut myself down.
Irina, maybe it'll be better for you to disconnect and connect again.
Yeah.
So Laurie, where are you based?
Yes, I'm in Chicago, Illinois.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I'm part of People into Public Speaking Club 7446.
So what is
And we meet Mondays at 12 noon CDT.
Nice.
Right now here in Chicago, it's 2:40.
So what is that number? What does that number represent? 7746.
So that's our club number. It's just it's just they accustomed me to saying club numbers, and I don't know if anybody else has that habit, because
No.
I belong to several clubs. I belong to MLP and Ace of Clubs, and I know those are really long numbers, and I can't memorize them. But obviously, I can memorize 7446, which is Pips.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Even I remember that now. I don't remember our club's number. So.
I guess, whenever it is that you need it, for anything, you're signing something, and then, Toastmasters ask you, the club number, and then you have to write it down and say, wait a minute, I don't know it. And then you have to go looking it up or writing it down on a piece of paper. But yeah, they told me from the get-go, from the very beginning, make sure that you memorize club numbers, because it's a vast majority of clubs. And yeah, it's true. Before the pandemic, I belonged to Hispanoamericano, and we're club 916266, and that's in Elmhurst, Illinois. And they specifically said, and they got a good point, because if you belong to several clubs like I do, well, it's a good idea to memorize numbers.
Sure.
So just a suggestion.
Sure. We'd give it a shot, I think. Sumit, that's your department. Every time anybody signs up, they need to memorize the number.
I mean, I can't remember the number of our club. I have to look it up.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a name, not a number.
Yeah. So and also here in the U.S., we don't have Easy Speak.
Oh, okay.
No, we don't have here in the U.S. We don't have Easy Speak. So it's that's another thing for me to memorize, because it's like you're under a vast majority of like passcodes and numbers, and when everybody asks me Easy Speak, I don't know. It's also another thing I have to remember.
Yeah. Many people forget that it's a kind of internal tool that's been built by a Toastmaster fanboy or fan boys and girls.
Excuse me, there's noise.
Sorry.
Gone awfully quiet. What's everybody doing?
It's the quiet before the storm.
Aha. Annette asked
Contemplating
me.
life mysteries.
Annette asked me about how do I share my screen like that. I was hoping she'd come back and I could show everybody how to do it if they'd like to know.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't have to wait for her. I guess you can teach her afterwards. But if am I allowed screen sharing right again, please, Tanush?
Sure. 1 second, Fran. Do that.
So if you click on the screen share, right, and you go up here and you do new share, it's giving you the option of basic, advanced, or files. So if you click on advanced and then click on here, the blue bit, and then click share, you then find the slides that you want. You've got to have them saved already. And as you click on open, it then prepares the slides and puts you in front. And that's it. If I can do it, anybody can do it, because I'm not tech savvy, but it works.
Great.
And I suppose this is also linked to the operating system you're using, because I don't see that on my computer right now. But
if you get the host rights, you need to have the host rights to be able to do it, or to be co-host. You then click on share and you'll find as it comes up, you've got this bit up here. When you click on share, you go to new share, and then you've got these options here, basic. So this is what you normally get as basic when you screen share, right? But here you go to advanced and you get this option and you click this one, slides as virtual background. Okay.
Great. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Fran.
No problem.
Thank you. That's great. I had no idea that that option existed. So.
Well, I didn't either. And I said, how do people do it? And of course, being me, I pester people till I find out.
Zoom is full of mysteries. So.
Well, I said to Annette, they're doing a Zoom Master Academy. Yeah. And that's going tomorrow night from 7 to 8, I think it is. So if anybody else wants to jump on and find out about it, ask if I can.
You want to stick it in the chat, Fran, when you find it? I'm sure a lot of us will be interested.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be brilliant. I remember trying to set something up with my desktop and video on one side, and oh, it was torturous. That is fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing.
Oh, that's what we learn, is to share our skills around. So you're very welcome.
Thank you. So welcome back to the second half of the evening. And the main part of the second half is the table topics, the impromptu speeches. Did anyone get onto Sumit and tell him that you wanted to do a topic? Sumit, do you have some volunteers?
I think I've got some volunteers, and I've picked some volunteers.
And you've picked some, that's right. Okay, that's brilliant. I was wondering what Sumit's role is in the Olympics, and I was thinking he is the person who who shoots the gun to start these short sprints running. So Toastmasters would be like a set of short sprints where people, it just lasts a minute, they do it quickly, and it'll be Sumit who triggers the starting gun and sets the runner off each time. I'm really pleased I can sit back and enjoy table topics now. I'm going to hand over the chairpersonship for the duration of the table topics to Sumit. Please welcome Sumit.
Thanks a lot, Linda, for that wonderful introduction. Fellow Trojans, friends, and most welcome guests. Today we have seen a wonderful array of prepared speeches, and it is a luxury for many of us to see to do the prepared speeches. However, in most of the real life situations, what we have to do is impromptu speaking. And that is one of the most exciting part of this Toastmaster meeting, that we challenge our members to speak on an improvisation, on unrehearsed questions. Ability to speak confidently and clearly with little or no preparation is a valuable skill. And like many things in life, competence simply comes with practice. And this is the practice ground that we provide within Toastmasters. Table topics, for the benefit of new members and for our guests, is specifically designed to improve 4 essential communication skills. First is the listening. You listen to the question provided to you. Then we have to think about it. And once we have thought about that question, we have to organize those thoughts. And then we have to deliver the speech. This is sort of a mini speech, which is delivered in 1 to 2 minutes. So you will see a green signal after 1 minute, an amber at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red signal at 2 minutes. We also want to give each and every member who hasn't had a chance to speak in any role in this table topics. We also want to involve guests, but preference is given to the members who have paid and who are affiliated with the Toastmasters and Trojans. As your table topics master, I have a theme, and that theme is there is no theme on this table topics. Because I didn't really know how many of you knew about sports, Olympics, so I didn't really wanted to constrain on that particular knowledge. Now, I would like to encourage you to use the word of the day, spirit. And in the spirit of this table topics, I would like to kick this can and start with my first volunteer. Now, I would be saying this question and I would be repeating it, and then I would be picking the volunteer. So you may have volunteered for this role, or I would just pick you because you're here in this meeting, unless and until you have told me not to. Now, the first question is, what's the worst advice you have been given? So the question is, what's the worst advice you have been given? And this goes to Irina.
Can everyone hear me well? Okay, good. Very unprepared, Sumit. What's the first advice I've been given? I think the first advice came from my parents, where they say, if you study well, you're gonna living well. So I think I followed that advice in a certain direction, because from the school, so the first grade that I've been in the primary school, My mom all the time told me, study well, make sure everything you learn, you remember, and then your life is going to be better in the future. So I've kind of tried to follow that advice, but I failed completely till I was maybe 10 years old. And when I realized how important this is, so I've started to kind of recovering what I've failing for 4 years in a row. And I've been looking around me and asking myself, is this the right advice for me? Is it really working? Because you have so many people that they've succeeded in life without even having you know, the advantage to go to university or to have good grades. They even dropped out from the school and they created success. So I was asking myself this question, is it really a true advice? And then I came to a conclusion. Maybe those people didn't do well in school. Maybe they dropped out from the school, but what they've done is they've educated themselves. So I came to a conclusion that, yes, my parents were right in their advice. You have to educate yourself, no matter where, either if you go to school or if you study, you do self-studies, it's important to educate. So I choose to go to university, I choose to go to school in order to educate myself and to gain those knowledge, because I thought my self-motivation wouldn't allow me to study by myself. So I use those tools around me to get this education. So that's it, me and my first advice given to me. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Irina. Now, the second question is, if you could commit any crime and get away with it, what would you choose? If you could commit any crime and get away with it, what would you choose to do? And this question is for Ruth. You're on mute, Ruth.
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Sure.
I was actually reading something in the chat.
Sure. So the question is, if you could commit any crime and get away with it, what would you choose?
Oh, if I were really honest, you wouldn't want to know. No, come on, I'm a Toastmaster, so gosh, I don't know. I'm completely stumped, and it doesn't take much to stump me. Gosh, what could I do and get away with? Ah, I'm sorry, I can't answer it. I'm sorry. I've never done that before on a table topic. I'm just not in a position to answer. I do apologize.
Shall I give you another question, Ruth, in that case? Shall I?
If you would, yeah, I'm sorry, I refuse to answer that one.
Okay. What's the best advice you have heard?
Oh, what's the best advice that I've heard? I'm sorry, I can't do it tonight. I apologize.
Sure. Okay, so we'll move on from there. The next question is, what is the biggest challenge you have overcome? What is the biggest challenge you have overcome? And this question goes to Pragati.
I had a feeling it was coming to me for some reason. Okay. This speaking right now, impromptu speaking, is one of the biggest challenges for me because I'm completely blank at the moment. And yeah, for me, just talking is a challenge because I'm very introverted. I cannot open up to people or just have a small talk or small conversations with people. So just having to talk right now in front of a lot of people is a challenge, and I think I'm overcoming it because I'm talking at the moment. So yeah, that's it from me.
Okay. So the next question that I have is, what's the craziest thing you ever did when you were a kid? What's the craziest thing you ever did when you were a kid? And this question is for Fran.
Thank you, Sumit, for that question. What's the craziest thing I did? It was a long time ago. I've got to really think hard. What did I really do that was crazy? Oh, goodness me. Oh, I suppose what we did, like mad things that we did. My parents, no, my mother smoked. In those days, a lot of people did, and it was the norm. But my dad smoked a pipe. One day we were playing, helping to clean up around the garden, and we had a bonfire, and my younger brother rolled up a piece of newspaper and said, here, have a cigarette. And he lit it. So I practiced because I'd seen my mum do it, and I got the flame down my throat. I have never smoked a cigarette ever in my life. That was a crazy thing. Do not do that. It's not a good idea. My brother actually went on to smoke cigarettes and still has a big battle with them several years later, several decades later, I should say. So yes, that was probably the craziest thing I ever did as a kid, was to try to be emulating my mother and smoke a cigarette when it wasn't a real cigarette. Just becoming a nurse afterwards, I really think that was a much better idea, and helping people to get better rather than inflicting pain, much better idea. So yes, I do not recommend it. Don't do it yourself. Definitely do not do this at home. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Fran. Coming on to the next question. Tell us about the worst boss you ever worked for. So tell us about the worst boss you ever worked for. And this question goes to Parminder.
Oh dear. I'm going to incriminate myself now, mainly because I've really only had one proper job after university, and hopefully then my boss isn't on this call. Otherwise I'm in serious trouble. No, I did some temping work after university. That was in 2015. And I can remember because it was literally just my first time working in central London, and I didn't realize it was just a bog standard sort of not a really junior role, but you don't think that when it's your first job. And so I remember walking in to the building and got given some tasks to do, but no instructions. And I think I might have stayed there until about 8 or 9 o'clock with some of the other more senior staff, and then realized afterwards that I was only being paid up until 5. And so I think I probably actually gave them money that day, that week or two of work, rather than me being paid for the overtime that I did that week. So that wasn't particularly pleasant. Oh, the other thing that they did is they mentioned I should be drinking 8 glasses of water a day, and I just thought that is just unacceptable. And to be honest, it's probably not really verified by scientific advice. So I now know from listening to the previous speaker, Tujan, I think I now know better that what I thought was bad, they're now 10 times worse. So that's my story. Thank you.
Thank you, Parminder. Madam Toastmaster, how many more can we do?
Have you done everybody? Have you given everybody a chance who wants it? I think most
yes.
people have spoken or not be in a position
Yeah.
to.
I have a few more questions, and like if there is time, I can still go on.
Let's do one more because we have quite a few things to fit in after this, Sumit. Let's
Sure.
do one more if there's anybody who would really like to do a table topic.
Is there anyone who would like to do, or shall I just pick one from you? Okay. Okay, so the last question for the evening is, if you could be any superhero or heroine, who would it be and why? If you could be any superhero or heroine, who would it be and why? And this question goes to our President, Flora.
Thank you, Sumit. So, who would I be if which superhero would I want to be? Well, I think I will really want to be Superman. So that would be actually a dream for a few reasons. First of all, I would love to be a man and understand what this means, to understand better, how men work and what they think. So that would be a great opportunity. The other thing, I would really like to fly and to be able, to just be there where you want to be and just disappear when you need to. So that would be another one, which probably not the best reason for choosing Superman. But the third one, which is probably the one that everyone think about, is just having superpower. Like that would be just brilliant, to just save the world, just appearing and always having a happy ending. So, that is actually a very, very nice way of being a superhero. I don't know how I would do it. So it will still probably remain a dream. But now that you make me think about it, I could really see myself picturing, going to New York and save the world there and enjoying the superpower of Superman. So thank you for that topic. Thank you.
So is there anyone else who would want to volunteer, or shall we just call it a day? I guess that's about it. Unless someone has a very strong feeling of.
Thanks, Sumit. I think we'll go with that. We've had a nice round of table topics, and we've heard from everybody we hadn't heard from before.
Great.
So thank you. Big hand for Sumit for a fantastic table topic session. Now I would like to ask Momo to give us the times for the table topic. She'll give us the names, the topic, and the length of time. And listen carefully, because then we'll be asking you to vote for the best table topic. So listen to the names, remember what it was they were talking about, and straight after we'll have the voting for the table topics. Over to Momo.
Thank you, Linda. Unfortunately, I didn't take the question right down. So if anyone can remind me, I'll say the name and then the timing. And Arina took 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And if anybody can remind me what was our topic about?
Her first bit of advice.
Thank you. And Pragati took 51 seconds. And what is your most challenging thing that you have done? I think that was the question. And Fran took 1 minute and 33 seconds. And what is the craziest thing you have done when you were young? Praminda's speech was 1 minute and 30 seconds. And I can't exactly remember the question of that.
The worst boss.
And Flora took 1 minute and 25 seconds. And the question was, what you like to be if you are a superhero, I believe. Yeah. And that's all I have got. Thank you.
Sorry, Momo, could you repeat the names one more time for me, just to
Yeah.
double check I've got everyone for the votes?
Yeah, Irina and Pragati, Fran, Praminda, and Flora.
Okay, thank you.
And could I now ask Tanuj to put up the voting slip?
Thank you.
Thank you, Tanuj. We're now going to have more of the commentators, more of the feedback. We've got feedback for the table topics. The timing, just in case Nish didn't pick up my chat, the timing will be 5, 6, 7. So green at 5, amber at 6, red at 7. So to evaluate our fabulous table topics this evening, we have the fabulous Nish. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nish.
Thank you very much, Linda. Before I start, I want to thank Sumit for amazing and very thoughtful questions. These are the things that always bring out the best and the worst personal stories, and I always enjoy these kind of questions. So I'll dive straight into them. Let's start with our first question. What's the worst advice you have been given? Irina, you chose to single out your parents. I'm sure sitting in the audience, a lot of people were thinking, yes, the worst advice came from our parents. You've done well and you were brave. You were smiling. The delivery was great, even though it seemed like you were completely surprised to be picked. A piece of advice, my recommendation to you would be that next time when it is time for not timetables, table topics, always assume that you could be picked, be ready, because when you came on the camera, your phone was shaking and it was a little bit jarring. So next time, please be prepared and to present. Next question, any crime, if you could commit any crime and get away with it, what would you do? Ruth, I know you didn't want to answer, but I am going to evaluate you. Ruth got away with reading the chat and not paying attention. But in the spirit of table topics and Olympics, Sumit cornered her again on the question by asking her another question. So, just give us an answer anyway. You're a wonderful speaker. You're very experienced, and we always love to hear your responses. So that's my only advice to you tonight. What's the biggest challenge you have overcome? That question went to Pragati. Pragati, I want to say that it was a very endearing way to open your answer. You accepted that this was the most challenging, biggest challenge that you were overcoming. You have a wonderful smile. You have a great presence. I'm sure if this is how you appear on camera, I'm sure you would be even lovelier in person, in physical meetings. You were doing so good. You could have just carried on. You could have actually talked about this very exact fear that you are an introvert. And the reason you've joined Toastmasters is because this is one of the biggest challenges that you have in life. And you could have just carried on. And I'm sure everyone in the audience would have related to that. But very well done and very brave of you to take that question. Next question was, what's the biggest challenge? Okay. Craziest thing as a kid. Fran repeated the question and bought herself some time. And I must say that personal stories make for the best table topics answer. So she gave us a personal story and she reminded all of us of the things that we have done, crazy things we have done, and we still don't want our parents to know. So that was great. And just one recommendation for Fran: keep your mouthpiece a little away from your mouth. We got a lot of plosives. That's a technical term when you have this. I hope you're not getting plosives from me, so I'm just going to keep it away from me. But overall, it was a wonderful delivery. You smiled a lot, you looked into the camera, and we were all able to connect with your story. Then it was Parminder's turn, and he talked about the worst boss he has ever worked for. Parminder, did I get your name right? Yes, Parminder. This was a good answer, but I must commend you for your good voice, wonderful delivery. You haven't even started your Toastmasters journey, but you already have what it takes to be a good speaker. You had a lovely smile, and I enjoyed listening to your story. The only recommendation I have for you is don't look left, don't look right, don't look up. Your audience are right in front of you. Make eye connection. This will get better as you give more speeches, or if you decide to become a part of Toastmasters, you will get better at connecting with your audience by just looking at them. Then just one more piece of advice. I know it was a sign of nervousness, and we all do that, but then I think you were shaking your leg and it was slightly shaking your frame or your chair, and that was, as your evaluator, it was a bit jarring. Next question was, if you could be any superhero, who would it be? And that was answered by Flora. Flora thanked Sumit and launched straight into the question. It seems like she has already thought about this question, or maybe she thinks about it at night, and probably she's just waiting to find a magic wand and become a superhero. She was confident. She gave us 3 reasons why she wants to be a Superman, and what she would do with those special Superman powers. One piece of recommendation: why go to New York, America? Why is that every superhero is trying to save America and the Americans? In the spirit of Olympics and humanity, why not go to Uganda, Thailand, maybe pick up a mojito, on the way and sip on it and enjoy, experiencing other cultures. So America does not need saving anymore. So, but that was a great answer. I enjoyed listening to you. Overall, very good delivery, and you came across very confident. So that's from me. Thank you very much. Back to our Toastmaster.
Thank you, Nish. Thank you so much. And to both Sumit and Nish, you created a really special table topics session. We learned lots from the questions and from the feedback. Once again, I'd like to ask Momo to come up and tell us the timings. This time it's the timings for the 3 speech evaluations, which were 2, 3, 4, no, 2, 2.5, 3, and the table topics evaluation, which was 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Over to Momo.
Thank you. And that evaluation speech took 3 minutes and 3 seconds. And Flora has taken 3 minutes and 49 seconds. And Dil took 3 minutes and 34 seconds. And Nishta evaluation was 5 minutes and 53 seconds long. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Momo. Once again, Tanuj, could you please put up the voting slip for the best evaluation of this evening?
Okay, got the results. Thank you.
Thank you. It's time for more commentary about how we've done this evening. And Simon is representing the spirit of language this evening. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our grammarian, the spirit of language, Simon.
Hi, can you hear me? Right, I'm afraid it's quite a negative grammarian's report. There was a general paucity of interesting words and beautiful language. There was a significant amount of ums and ahs, and I counted 180, fairly evenly split amongst all the speakers. That's something that we obviously need to watch out for. I will actually concentrate on the phrases that were spoken by people, but short bursts of a few words which just seemed to stick in my mind and emphasized particular points. First of all, Linda began with saying that feedback, it's our friend. And feedback has to be honest and genuine, without which it's meaningless. So I will intentionally not be hard on individuals, and I will not pick out many people directly, but I'm sure you will remember if it was you who said this or that. Sathya had some quite interesting expressions. She would focus on the details, but you found out that her strengths were also her weaknesses, which I think that's quite true of a lot of us. She was happy to make her own mistakes and also to learn by them, something that I, for one, am very guilty of. Fran expressed a great truism. The more you put in, the more you get out. And that's certainly true of Toastmasters. The more you invest in preparation, the better the reward and the better communicator you'll become. I loved her expression, big man, tiny voice. Such a contrast. Although never having met this man and having no sight of what he looks like, I immediately conjured up a picture in my mind of someone who would be quite an interesting chap to have met. And there's also nothing stopping you except yourself. Looking expectantly. How often have we all done that in the expectation of getting a reward or treat? Reading the body language, which I'm sure we're all finding difficult on this Zoom kind of meeting. And obviously, once we get back to physical meetings, as and when they're going to take place, the meetings will be nicer, richer, and better quality because we can feed on what people are saying and we can feed on their emotions. Reading body language and finding out what's happening behind the words. A lot of what we say, we don't actually understand or pick up from somebody else. We make our own inferences and intonations of what's being said from the way it's being said. And these give us greater credibility and belief in what's being said or what is not being said. Tanuj, so I'm going to address it in this way. The word so was totally irrelevant and superfluous. You could have just addressed it as saying, I'm going to address it in this way. I think if you're using chemical names, a lot of them tend to be long-winded and difficult to pronounce. So it's worthwhile perhaps just practicing and practicing and practicing until you can do it blindfolded. Because again, when with chemical names, there is also a possibility that if you say it slightly differently or give it a different ending, people who've got a chemistry background might think of a different chemical and not what you are trying to portray. as an example, you referred to hydrogen peroxide as being H2O4. And to the best of my knowledge, that's H2O2. But I'm happy to be corrected. But again, it's just little details like that which can be frustrating. Expressions like "we got punked," fantastic, loved it, but actually don't understand it. So for the old timers like myself, it would be worthwhile if you could perhaps give a brief explanation. Also, can you gobble up water? I'm not 100% sure. Food you can, liquids, perhaps not. Your expression, "you suck," fantastic, but you know my mind is quite disgusting, and I was already going down a different path until you reminded us it was water. I would like to say that I was happy preparing this report, but I think overall it's been a fairly apathetic evening by us all. I think the weather's got to us and we need to sit back, relax, recharge our batteries, and come back for the next meeting more energized, more prepared to use unusual words, phrases, and expressions. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Simon. I think we've got enough energy left for this, the last lap of the evening. The last lap is the general evaluation. Everything at Toastmasters gets evaluated. And we're so lucky tonight to have an evaluator from another club. I didn't give her the chance to introduce herself earlier, so really like her introduction when she comes up. Laurie is going to give feedback for everybody who hasn't had feedback earlier in the evening. And I just urge you, I don't even think I need to keep up the stamina, the final lap. We're going to learn lots about ourselves and our meeting. We're going to enjoy it. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big welcome to Laurie.
All right. Trojans, thank you for inviting me and having me as your general evaluator. This is actually the first time that I am general evaluator for any of these clubs. Understanding what the role is for general evaluator is very important because you're giving the feedback for the whole meeting as a whole. My name is Laurie G. Favela. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I belong to People into Public Speaking Club 7446, and we meet Mondays at 12 noon CDT. I put the link and the passcode in the chat. I want to start out with the club as a whole. It's a good thing as a club if you could come up with like a theme on the club as a whole. That's what we kind of do at People into Public Speaking. We'll have like a theme, like say for instance, the next theme that we're going to have is like mission statements. So have people really think about what it is that they want to do as a mission statement. That'll give us the spirit of Toastmasters. We want to really elaborate for the guests who Mr. Ralph C. Smedley was and what his take was on Toastmasters and how did he play a role and how does he bring out our spirit of what it is that we are as Toastmasters. There's a truck outside. Don't forget also one thing that I suggest, and this is just, and again, this is just my opinion for what it is that I do at my club. And Fran, you told me this at the other, as a general evaluator. Don't forget to introduce yourselves, the pathways, the levels, and what it is, the title of your speech, because you want to get really, really familiar with your paths, because this is the education roles that you have in Toastmasters. Make sure that you briefly, Toastmaster, make sure that you briefly elaborate or introduce a little bit more about what pathways is. Tell us that, tell the guests that there are different paths of levels that you can take and you have to find one that is fitting for yourself. And that's just kind of like an introduction about it. I think as Toastmasters, the most important thing that we can do is get more familiar with what our paths are. For me, for my sake, I'm on Innovative Planning Level 4. And with a Level 4, that actually entails internet. That entails me being as a podcaster. So what are your roles in your paths? And how will you get more enthralled? And how will your spirit serve towards your path? Also, don't forget about the general evaluations, that we have to have accountability as Toastmasters to fill out those general evaluations and then send them back to the speakers. So speakers, don't forget to do that tonight for your general evaluation, so that way you have feedback even from them. Table topics was a very good, fun, I would have loved to have had a question, but since I am a Toastmaster and I was general evaluator, it was a great, fun, fantastic role for me. And I couldn't, tell you much more of how much I enjoyed that. Thank you, Sumit. I really feel that you got into our spirit and that you want to know more about who it is that we are. And that's what the table topic should do. Other than that, other than just it being impromptu speaking, it should also be who it is that you are. How prepared are you with your elevator speech? How prepared are you if you're able to give a toast at a wedding, or things of that nature, Toastmasters. Other than that, the evaluators were really good to think on their feet. You really know how to emphasize the topic that you were giving in. The only thing is make sure, at my club where we hardly don't have a lot of guests, here at this club, since we do have more guests, make sure that you know how to introduce your roles better, like the timer. It's very important for you to stay on time if you're giving a meeting or time management, because these are things that guests have to understand about what Toastmasters is. We have a time limit for speeches and evaluations. So that's part of the roles that we should each emphasize or think about, the speaker's roles, the general evaluator, or even the table topics. Anything else? Well, the one thing that I really want to bring about this club, because you are a bigger club other than my club, and I'm seeing the comparisons here and the differences. Passion is something that we all hold inside as Toastmasters, and the one thing that this club and every club should work on is passion, desire, your spirit. How is it that you will bring your Toastmasters live before a crowd? Because you can't just leave your Toastmasters at this. You have to take it outside. And that is what I am working on as a podcaster. And again, I know that this is Toastmasters and I'm general evaluating, but these are just things that I want to bring to light for you as Toastmasters. Passion is something that we all need to work on. So how exuberant you are, how excited you are to be a Toastmaster. I want to exemplify that spirit in every club that I visit, in every role that I do. I might not do it perfectly, but that is the spirit that we should all as Toastmasters. Do not take your Toastmasters lightly, guests. Get started. Ruth, I can't tell you a lot more. I was just like you. I see a lot of who I was in you. And I want to really bring out this spirit of getting out of your comfort zone, of your shell, and really bringing that out. And guests, get started. Don't wait. Again, this is a great club for you to come and connect with other like-minded individuals. With that, Miss Toastmaster.
Thank you, Laurie. Thank you so much for coming all the way to our meeting, even though it's virtual. You're a long way away and you're on a different time and everything. It's really good to have somebody from right outside with us this evening and giving us feedback. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed the meeting. Good. Well, we've done the final lap. It's now time for the president of the Olympic Committee to close the games, or our president to close the meeting, present awards. Thank you all. Thank you for being a fabulous audience. Thank you for taking part. Everybody had a role or spoke or did something. It's really, really good and created the nice supportive environment that we foster at Toastmasters. I'd like to hand over now to close the evening to our president, Flora.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you very much for your energy and your experience in leading us in this Toastmaster meeting. I like as well your connection to the Olympic theme. I think that was actually very well thought, and also thinking about, you know, each of us who would be in an Olympic game. I loved it. Thank you very much. Thank you for all of the fabulous speeches. Thank you for the evaluation and all the role. And thank you very much, Laurie, for your general evaluation and giving us some thought for food for thought and fresh perspective from outside of the Atlantic. So thank you so much for that. So I wanted, before just handing over the award, I just wanted to just remind you a few things in terms of the club business. So we are actually wanted to gather your thought on your interest in going back to face-to-face meeting, or what do you feel about it, and also if you would prefer to just continue online for the next few months. So I've set up a small survey that I've shared on WhatsApp. I will as well share it on email. So if you have a few minutes, please give us your thought, and if you have more time, and if you want to share any of your thinking or feeling with the committee, please contact us. We still have a vacancy in our committee, as you know, so if anyone is interested in the new member, please contact me. And also we had a few, we are looking for, you know, how we can engage better with the member. And one thing that we thought we could organize is maybe a social at the end of the summer, just to see us face to face, but outside of a normal meeting. So we'll share a bit more about that in the coming weeks. And we also are thinking to doing joint meeting with other club. So we had interest from the, I would say, fellow or the club set up by Amit, so High Five, and another club, I think, can't remember the name, but another one that we may organize as well in September. And then finally, please remember as well, the contest time will be coming soon. So after the summer, we'll be in contest season. So if you want to start preparing, if anyone is interested in preparing speeches, please start. It's a good time to start now. Also, you know, it's true that we had, you know, lots happening this year. So it's holiday time. I will myself be on holiday for the next 2 weeks. I will miss the next meeting, but yeah, take time to recharge during the summer, and hopefully I'll see you at the end of August. So now going through the award. So what we'll do is we'll celebrate the best. So for the guest, we're now celebrating the best table topic, the best evaluator, and the best speaker of the evening. So if you want to unmute and do a bit of noise to just build on the suspense, we're gonna now say who is the best table topic speaker. And this is actually a tie between a guest, so Parminder, very well done, and myself, which is the first one for me, so I'm really pleased as well. Now the best evaluator, and this is our fabulous evaluator, Nishta. Thank you. Well done, Nishta. And now the best speaker is, we had 3 fabulous speeches, one first icebreaker, so very well done. The best speaker is Tanush. Well done, Tanush. So thank you very much. Well done for your attendance and participation tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the meeting, and I hope I'll see you very soon after my break, and after probably your break as well.
Before everybody leave, can I just join in?
Yeah, please, Momo. Yeah.
Yes. I want to ask a question for everybody, like who would like to take any role in next meeting, or who would like to participate in any of the role in next meeting. So can I just call out the name, and if anybody can let me know which role they want to take for next meeting, please.
Momo, before that, could you give everybody the date of the next meeting?
Yes.
Thank you.
th of August.
Right. Yes, it is 8th of August. We still have got 3 speaking roles, so if anybody wants to take up the speaking slot. Should I call like everyone name like last time, and if they want to take the role, or just anybody will come up and participate in the role? If I say the name of the role.
Momo, is it okay if I do a speech or?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, good.
I'll do a speech as well.
Mo, please put me down as table topics master.
Table topic, yeah, sure. Flora won't be here, so Nishta, do you like to participate in any of the role?
Momo, I'm also on holiday in that week. Sorry.
Sure. That's all right. What about Satya?
Oh, well, I'm thinking about the roles. Yeah, give me some time.
Sure, you can contact me anytime.
Yeah, sure.
Pragati, would you like to take part in any of the role, please, for next meeting?
Yeah, you can. Well, I have to understand everything. Yeah, we can talk later, I guess.
Sure, yeah. And yes, Pran, you are on mute.
Thanks very much for having me. I've really enjoyed meeting you all, and have a lovely evening. And I think we clash with Clever Communicators on Wednesdays as well. So is this an extra meeting that you're having? Yeah. No? Do you meet on the 1st and 3rd of Wednesdays, or 1st and
second and fourth?
So yeah, so Clever Communicators on the 1st and 3rd. So if anybody would like to come and be part of our club next week, you'll be very welcome. We do need a general evaluator. Please let me know. Thanks very much. And I put the email in for the Zoom master in the chat. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks.
And thank you, everyone, and wish you have a great evening.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.